continue with our next session on business model innovations for the digital age. This session will be presented by Mr. Chari TVT, member of Digital Technology Implementation Committee DTIC MIA, and he is also a board member of various listed and non-listed entities in Malaysia and abroad. Over to you, Mr. Chari.
Thank you, Nadira, for a wonderful introduction. And again, Fanny did a very great job in terms of moderating the previous session. It's all about AI and how AI is helping. And I'm going to talk slightly different, not about AI, but about business model innovation. I'll probably pick my slides. And here we go. Okay, can you see my slides?
Yes, we can see your slide.
Okay.
Mr. Chari. Okay.
Very good. Now, I think first and foremost, when I talk about business model innovation, it is one of the biggest lever any organization has to provide competitive differentiation. And as an organization, what I find is this, that that many board members and many management team are not spending as much time in terms of what this business model innovation is all about. Right. And so when I was discussing this with MIA, they said, look, why don't we run a workshop or run a course on business model innovation? Because it's a very nice concept and it creates a huge amount of value to any organization. So business model innovation is just creating new ways of delivering value to the customers. Right. Now, let's instead of just saying theory, nice words and all this stuff, let me talk to you about a few examples. One, when I hear about the word Apple, the first thing that you hear is, wow, innovation. It's a very innovative company. They come out with new products, whether it is on the music side or the handphone side. They are doing an exceptionally good job in terms of driving product innovation, right? And that's one piece of an organization which has done exceedingly well in terms of driving innovation and creating value for the organization. It's a $3 trillion company today, right? Now, compare that with Amazon, right? Amazon as a company has started just selling books online. And from there, they went into Kindle and they started sending the data into a tablet or a Kindle, and that started selling well. And from there, they just moved on to selling anything and everything online. And again, you know, what are they selling? Are they innovating a new product? The answer is no. They are innovating a new business model and driving a huge amount of scale for it to be successful. And today, they are into cloud computing, for example. If somebody wants a lot of service, a lot of computing power, a lot of storage, a lot of software, they say, look, you don't go and buy. You come to me and I'll provide you as a service. So essentially, a business model is one where you're not actually innovating products. I mean, if you're innovating product, that's great. Like normally, the innovation of products will be when we think about it, we think about Apple, we think about pharmaceutical companies, which comes out with vaccines and new vaccines and all that stuff, right? And that creates a huge amount of value to those organizations. But what we want to focus today is to see what are companies doing to drive business model innovation, which drives a fair amount of value to the organization, right? So essentially, it's one of the most effective ways the companies can stand out from the competition and thus secure sustainability of the organization. It's very important. I think the more we look at the examples, the more you will realize how powerful this is, right? Now, the customer behavior keeps changing on a regular basis. At one point in time, I remember when you want to start up a company 20 years back, you would just go and buy some 20 servers and software associated with it. But today, what you do is to go and say, look, Amazon, I need this computing power. Can you give it to me? And I don't need it every day. I need it only for the next 15 days or 20 days when there is a surge, and after that, I don't need anything. So the flexibility of consuming something like that is very high, as a result of which your customer behavior can change, and at the same time you can do a lot of trial and error until you hit the right nail, and then subsequently you can build your business. Right. Now, let me give you a few simple examples before we get into something more interesting, right? Now, when I look at when I say business model innovation, look at this. When HP was selling their printers, when they sell the printer, they sell it at a loss, right? At a loss. And that's okay for them because they're going to make money on cartridges. Who's going to buy a cartridge if they're not buying a printer, right? So that's kind of business model innovation that I'm talking about. The same thing with Gillette. When they sell a razor, the initial stick is very cheap and they force you to buy that piece. And after that, the way they make money is on the cartridges. Now, there's a company called Dell, which is still existing, fairly large company. And there was a company called Compaq. Compaq said that, look, I'm going to go to the customers through a partner always. I'm a partner-centric company and I want to always go through a partner. Dell came back and said that, look, I want to change that business model. I want to go direct. And that decision of them going direct made a huge difference to their profitability, but it impacted Compaq, and Compaq probably closed down, like it got acquired by Hewlett Packard or something at a later point in time. So again, look at the power of a business model. The Amazon, we spoke about it. Xerox doesn't go and sell printers to say, look, why don't you go and buy my printer? It's going to cost you 50,000 ringgit or 70,000 ringgit or whatever it is. And it can print this, that, nothing of that sort. They say, look, anytime you print per page, you pay me. And suddenly it's a completely different business model. So this is where I'm saying that these are beautiful, simple examples which will drive us to take the business to the next level. The revenue is sustainable. It's easy to sell with a concept like pay as you grow, pay as you use. The Xerox case is a fantastic case. Hewlett Packard, although their printing is solid in terms of quality and all that stuff, they couldn't compete with Xerox because Xerox had a different business model. So the business model can be a competitive differentiator. These are simple examples for you, right? Now, if I look at Airbnb, for example, or Uber, again, they just completely changed. Are they providing a different service? The answer is no. They're providing the same services that were given before, but they came out with a new concept called a platform. They brought in a platform. They brought in the users as well as the drivers into a seamless platform, and all payments are done through your booking is done through it, and it tells you where the car is. Amazing in terms of the business model. So what I'm saying is this, that whether you're in the board or as a management team or a finance professional, in order for us to sustain the organization, it is important that we spend a fair amount of time thinking about the business model, right? Now, this concept is not getting as much traction as it should, because this makes a huge difference to any organization. Now, AirAsia is also a good example. AirAsia is when everybody said that, look, I'm a full service airlines. AirAsia came back and said that, look, I will be a low cost airlines. And suddenly, they were able to sort of fill up their aircraft and they fly. It's a no-frill airlines. It's like Ryanair, for example, in Europe. And they've been very successful as an organization. Now, look at even companies like Rolls-Royce. And this is a great example where Rolls-Royce is saying that, look, they come to, say, Singapore Airlines and say that, look, I'm going to sell my aircraft engine, but please don't pay me 75 million, 50 million, 80 million, whatever it is. Please don't. Pay me, say, $500 for every hour of flight. It's a complete change of business model. Now, what are the advantages for Rolls-Royce? And we went and checked. The advantage is this, that Rolls-Royce engine has got a life of 15 years. And by charging for $500 per hour with a minimum guarantee certain amount of money, what they maintain the engine for the next 15 years, which is good. Now, the quality of maintenance is left to them. If somebody doesn't pay the money, for example, they can just stop maintaining it in a way. So their reputation, they can also save their reputation. So fundamentally, the business model innovation creates a huge difference in terms of competing with the rest and making a difference. Now, one or two more examples. Tanaga National is thinking in terms of, can I do prepaid electricity? Change your business model. Like your prepaid phone, can I do prepaid electricity? And today it is possible because of technology. You have smart meters. With the smart meters coming in, you can say, okay, I'll pay up to about 20 ringgit and you provide me electricity up to 20 ringgit. The collection becomes easier in a way. So insurance premium, like today, I have, let's say I have a 3 Series BMW and Fanny has also got a 3 Series. Both of us pay the same amount of premium. But the only thing that the insurance company doesn't realize is that Fanny is such a big business person that she drives around 100,000 kilometers a year. Whereas I, being an old retired man, I'm sitting in the office and my car doesn't go beyond 5,000 kilometers. So should somebody driving 5,000 kilometers as well as 100,000 kilometers pay the same thing? Right? And so imagine if they come out with a new insurance policy to say that, look, I'm going to charge you based on the kilometers that you drive, the game is changed. So you get a picture, right, in terms of, how powerful is the business model innovation to change the game and come out with a new scheme in a way. So I think what this particular chart says that, look, yeah, there are many ways of enhancing the value, whether it is process engineering, re-engineering, or product innovation, strategies. Within the strategy, it's probably driven by business model and partnering. In terms of long-term cumulative value creation, the business model innovation plays a significant role. Right. Now, let me quickly run through 3 topics. What has been happening in the past? And I give you a number of examples. I hope they're relevant. And when you start thinking about your own organization, obviously you will have some more nicer, better ideas in a way, which will fit into your organization. Now, any successful organization has made a huge difference in terms of changing or tweaking the business model so that they have a sustainable competitive advantage. Right. Now, let me do this now. Now, this is a great example. Those days or even today, we go to some fine dining restaurant, we just go and place an order. Sometimes they give you a menu card, which is complex, 20 pages, and you keep looking at the menu pages and you call the chef will come and explain. And then you finally place an order. Half an hour later, somebody gives you some hot, nice food. You eat, thank you, and walk away. And then came McDonald's and said, look, you order in 3 minutes and I'll deliver it in 3 minutes. Change the business model. Product is the same. I'm giving you food. The fine dining guys give you food. And today, by that change of business model, that industry is worth about $190 billion, whether it is KFC, Pizza Hut, Starbucks, all of them are saying that you place an order within 2 minutes or 3 minutes, I'll deliver it to you. It changes the customer experience. The customer wants also is that I don't want to go and sit down for about for half an hour, 45 minutes, and I want to order it in 3 minutes time, and I want to deliver it in 3 minutes time. Pop, change a business model. Change a business model. Now look at this also. IKEA is a great example where we used to go to a carpenter those days, look at photographs and measure and say, okay, this is exactly what I want. This is the picture that I want. And then the guy will say, come back after 3 months, I'll deliver it to you. Right. And sometimes they deliver it, sometimes they don't deliver it. They ask for more time or whatever it is. IKEA changed the game, completely changed the game. It's a solid global company. So again, change a business model can make a huge difference. And these are nicer examples of them. Now I'll skip some of them. So you get a picture. You get a picture of how powerful is business model. Now I really want to take it to some of the board members also across Southeast Asia. And there's a lot of demand. They say, look, tell me how can business model innovation make a difference to our organization? The answer is here, right? Now, even if I look at Facebook, for example, WhatsApp is a part of them, right? And even if they charge me $1 per annum, I'll be very happy to pay $10, 10 ringgit a month. I don't mind at all because I'm connected. It gives me a huge amount of facility. But they came back and said, sorry, I don't want to charge you anything. I'll give it to you free. But there is another way of skinning this cat. I will take it in the form of advertisement. I want to understand who you are, based on which I can come out with advertisements. So again, this is a business model. Somebody is sitting there and thinking as to what best can I go and hold on to my customer and at the same time generate revenue, right? So think about it. Think about it. Now, so here there's a company. This is a local company. It's called Makeover Guys, run by a Chinese, 34 years old, very smart young guy. You know what they do is this. Um, if you want to sell your house or rent a house or something, essentially what they say is, hey, Meko guys, can you come in? They come in, they change the carpet, they change um, the color of the wall painting is changed, and your house looks absolutely squeaky clean, very beautiful. Suddenly, your furniture is changed, your curtains are changed, and somebody is willing to give you 15 to 20% more premium when they want to buy your place or rent your place. And you know what this guy said to me was this, and I was mentoring them for a while. Said, young, very bright, Chari, if only I had another 400 or 500 salespeople, I'll be able to sell more of this. Then we said, okay, let's sit together and think. If I was Grab or Uber, what would I do? We sat on a workshop, and within a matter of 3-4 hours, they came out and said that, look, I want to have a platform, right? And there are lots of people out there who are, due to pandemic and all this stuff, the real estate market wasn't doing as well. So why don't we go and bring them on board and say that, look, okay, I'll train you how to sell this product. And if you close a deal, I'll pay you 10%. So suddenly a fixed expenditure has become a variable expenditure. And he was extremely happy. And the people who were signing up were also very happy because they know exactly what the market is all about. They've been anyway selling real estate. And for them to go and sell this was. So again, somebody has to sit and think at the management level, at the board level, at the finance level, so that once you change this business model a little bit, suddenly you have about 100, 200 salespeople selling without carrying the fixed expenditure on you. Because again, technology helps you, but at the same time, again, ultimately, the innovation business model innovation is also helping you in a way. Take this company called Udemy. They do training. Again, Suresh also spoke about these training. And this is from nowhere. It's a 180 million, 200 million company, US dollar company. So suddenly they change the business game, and there is a compelling value proposition. It's a very crowded market. In spite of it, if they are successful, they're doing a few changes to. And again, are they providing a new product? The answer is no. They are providing training. Simple. And they have to provide it in a different way so that the customer takes it. This is where the business model comes in. What will bring the customer back into you? And this is where I'm saying that both boards and management and the finance community will have to start thinking. We are responsible for top line and bottom line in a way. We always think like a CEO, but act like a CFO. And so to the extent, all this will help us in terms of delivering our products well. I'll skip this. So Amazon, Spotify, Tinder business models are pretty interesting in a way. And they've been successful even though they're not providing any more products. Now, I want to take 2 minutes of this. And some of you would have seen it earlier because I use this slide extensively. Just 2 minutes, if you don't mind. Just look at any
I'm here
business.
to share a story with you about the connected cow. Yes, there is such a thing as a connected cow. It's a sexy story. It's got all of the buzzwords of today, the Internet of Things, the cloud, data science, analytics. But it's also about how a little bit of ingenuity can transform even some of the oldest industries in the world. And let me explain what that means. That's a connected cow that I'm talking about. Look at those pedometers on their feet. I'm wearing one of them. It's made by Fujitsu. It's very reliable. It has a 5-year battery. It can survive even the toughest environments in the farm. And it's constantly measuring the number of steps the cow takes. And that data is being sent to the cloud, into Microsoft Azure, where there is a service that's analyzing the number of steps the cow is taking. So, do cows need to take 10,000 steps a day too? Before I give you the answer, let's take a step back. Every company is a data company, even the ones you least expect, even dairy farms. Now, dairy farms have all the constraints of a modern business. They have a fixed production capacity. They have a herd that they have to manage. There's farm labor, which is very expensive. So what could a dairy farmer do? Well, there are 2 important controls. First, he can monitor for disease and prevent the loss of herd by early detection. Second, he can improve cattle production by accurate detection of estrus. Now, if you remember high school biology, estrus is when the animal goes into heat. And it turns out that cattle goes into heat only for very short durations of time. That's true about all farm animals, by the way. All animals, they are ready to mate and have children only during very short windows. With artificial insemination, the conception rate is pretty high, 70%, which is very...
I'll skip. You get a picture of what's happening there. Even for the most unsexy business like that, they want to bring in a little bit of technology, change our business model a little bit so that the quality of product that is coming out is solid, as a result of which you will have more customers coming back and buying it. You can call that digitization, you can call this business model innovations, but somebody has to start thinking in terms of how can I go and differentiate myself, right? And again, that's just one simple example, whether it is a great business or a sexy business or a non-sexy business. I think the business model innovation will play a role. And again, and let's take another 2 minutes to watch this piece. Or maybe I'll skip this in the interest of time. Now, this is interesting. This is a clear business model innovation that happens. Just take 2 minutes.
2 women from Harvard Business School dreamed up a company based on a simple premise. A woman never has to wear the same outfit twice, and she doesn't have to buy it at all. Sounds good, right? Millions of other women like that idea, too. Michelle Miller is inside a warehouse in Secaucus, New Jersey, just west of New York City, with a story that you'll see only on CBS this morning. Michelle, we like it. Good morning.
Good morning. Well, this is just about every woman's fantasy. Thousands and thousands of dresses right at her fingertips. Well, Rent the Runway wants to change the way a woman gets dressed and how she invests in a wardrobe. So the woman who says to you, I have nothing to wear, you're turning her on her head.
Well, we have 100,000 options of what she can wear.
Inside this 40,000 square foot warehouse in Secaucus, New Jersey, is the giant closet that is Rent the Runway. The company, part e-commerce site and part tech startup, stores some pretty glamorous merchandise. 100,000 designer dresses, all available for rental through their website.
Before we send out any dress or any piece of jewelry to a customer, we'll do a final check to make sure that it's in perfect condition.
With more than 250 designer brands, rental prices range from $5 to $475. This $3,500 Calvin Klein dress rents for $170. This $1,000 Oscar de la Renta necklace for just $150. Jennifer Hyman is Rent the Runway's CEO. Who is Rent the Runway's target customer?
I call her the go-getter girl. She's a...
So you get a picture. You get a picture. So everyone was going around selling products, and here they are saying that, look, come and rent it from me. And if I'm attending a wedding and I need a yellow Gucci bag and a yellow dress and a black whatever, I can go and get it. And instead of paying, tens and thousands of dollars and wear it just once, here is an opportunity for. Now, will everybody like it? The answer may not be. But there will be a bunch of people who will say that, look, I want this. And this is where, they're not selling a new product. They're selling the same product in a different way. And then this is how they reach it to the customer. And if you look at the definition of business model innovation, is creating new ways of delivering value to the customer. Creating new ways of delivering value to the customer. And Rent the Runway is a beautiful example of how they went about doing it. And that company is now worth about $500 billion or something like that. I think it's $1 million, not 500 billion, but $500 million. So fundamentally changing the landscape. The Microsoft, they have this Office 365 and all this stuff. And today they sell the entire thing on cloud. It's called Office. The Office 365 is now Cloud 365. And suddenly the valuation of the company has gone up. They're also into cloud big time. And again, somebody is sitting there and thinking, making those changes to the organization, which is driving the value of the company substantially. Apple does it too. The Apple Store, Apple phone, music systems are all probably, you can call it a product innovation, but the Apple Store is a business model innovation. Any application that you want to download, it has to come to me. And so what happens is this, that a person who has developed the application has to pay 30% of their revenue to Apple before they can go and sell it to their customers. It's amazing. Somebody has thought through that so well that these guys have been very successful. Right now, so I showed you what the world has been in the past: the McDonald's story, the IKEA story, the HP story, the Air Asia story, and all that stuff. Right. Moving forward, currently it is all about platform. The Uber, the Grab, Airbnb, they've all done a fantastic job in terms of changing the business model so that you can bring back your customer. Now, let's also see as to what's happening moving forward. Is there anything smart that is happening? I want to just give two examples. I'm sitting in the board of one of the construction company, UVM Sunrise, right? And normally it takes about 4 years for us to deliver. From the time I acquire the land to the time I deliver the keys, it takes 4.5 years. Look at what is happening to that industry.
Tesla has begun selling homes for $10,000 each. Elon Musk, with his billion-dollar fortune, has introduced the Tesla Home, a fully furnished residence. To set an example, he sold his own $50 million mansion and moved into the first Tesla home. These homes are box-shaped and manufactured in parts at a factory, then transported by truck and assembled within 2 days. They come with a standard layout of 2 bedrooms, a living room, a kitchen, and a bathroom. The walls of Tesla homes are made from sustainable, eco-friendly materials, which are fireproof, mold-resistant, and capable of withstanding hurricanes, while also being durable. Moreover, the roof is equipped with solar panels, which not only power the house, but also store excess energy in a power wall. There's also a rainwater collection and filtration system for water storage. One of the key selling points is energy efficiency and environmental friendliness. These homes can connect to the Tesla Home app, allowing users to monitor their house's usage in real time and remotely control all devices within the home. Each house also comes with a Tesla supercharger socket. An interesting feature is the mobility of these homes. If you decide to move, you don't need to pack up appliances or luggage. You can simply tow the house away with a car. Tesla homes are built with the most advanced materials and technology, ensuring safety and sustainability while fulfilling all residential needs. The question is, would you be willing to spend $10,000 on such a house?
You can see that clearly the world is moving towards changing the business model in anything that we've been doing for the last 50 years or 100 years. They just want to change it. Now, I just want to stop with one last example. This is amazing to me. I think this is probably the most boring industry, called the death industry. If something happens to me, they just take me to a graveyard and then they'll bury me and put a slab on top of me and whatever, and even that business is changing.
You can become one with nature by putting your body in a capsule. This is a new type of burial introduced in Italy, the human egg capsule burial. It's different from the traditional way of burial. As the name suggests, the body of the deceased is put into a biodegradable egg-shaped capsule and buried with a seed in the ground. The body is curled up in the capsule like a baby in its mother's womb. This means that life begins and ends in this position. Over time, the capsule will degrade in the soil and the seeds will take root. The body will become the nutrients for the seed until it grows into a huge tree. This is a unique burial method that focuses on a green environment. The tree represents the headstone, which is warmer than the cold stone. As the tree grows, the relatives will feel the continuity of new life and the significance of the deceased's existence at the same time. In addition, this type of burial offers a personalized service. The family can choose the type of tree or the color of the capsule, and also install a locator in the capsule so that the family can easily find your tree among the many trees. You can become one.
So you get it. So even the most uninteresting business, there is innovation that's happening. It's amazing the world, the way they think. You go into a cemetery, it is eerie. Now, when you go into a park with lots of trees and you're going to hug your grandfather or oh, lovely. So I'm just saying this. Maybe I'll end. These are experiences which will probably, in the interest of time, I'll skip it. But all that I'm saying is this, that we as a as a community, whether it is at the board level or at the CXO level or at the CFO level or the finance fraternity, we'll have to start spending time in terms of what business model innovations are happening across the globe. What can I do to bring that into my organization? Let's all sit together and think about it. And that will provide you a sustainable business for a much longer period of time. And it goes back to what was discussed earlier in terms of being ESG compliant, being, the examples that I gave are all fairly, even the housing that Elon Musk has come out with is completely ESG compliant. They are biodegradable as against non-biodegradable stuff that we do. And even the burial that we spoke about, it's very biodegradable stuff that we spoke about. So amazing in terms of the thought process that you have. I must have given you about 30 to 40 examples. And I'm sure some of them are applicable to you, some of them may not be applicable. But what we need to do is to sort of sit together and say, how do I go and change the game in such a manner that my organization sustains, I am ESG compliant, and at the same time making sure that I make profit and it's a competitive differentiation for the company. So developing a new distribution model, changing pricing model, adoption of new technology, platform business, the power of application is extremely high, and then create a good selling experience forward. So this is probably my last slide. And fundamentally, it just summarizes everything that we said, that business model innovation is something that needs to be taken seriously. In all the past, what we have done is, it is like, okay, it is innovation, and it's someone who goes and worries about product innovation, and we leave the business innovation to simple process innovation, nothing beyond. So we need to probably elevate that to a higher level so that we can provide a competitive differentiation. So with this, I stop my presentation, but thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. Special thanks to MIA, Fanny, who's our head, and I stop here. Thank you. Thank you, Nadia. Over to you.
Okay, Mr. Chari, we move on to the questions from the participants. How should
an organization balance the need for innovation with the requirement of financial stability and risk management? Perfect question. Fundamentally, this is not a question of balancing. If you want financial stability and if you want to provide a risk mitigation, you need to think about both product innovation and business model innovation. And to me, business model innovation is even more important than product innovation. Now, clear examples are the big 4 or 5 companies that we spoke about, whether it is Google, whether it is Meta, whether it is Apple, whether it is Microsoft, and these are all $3 to $4 trillion companies. The $1 trillion company means the Malaysia and Singapore, put all of them together, Southeast Asia as a whole, one company is equal to the GDP of these 3 or 4 countries in a way. So I think if you want a sustained organization, somebody has to start thinking about business model very carefully. Yeah, that's the next question. How can we stay ahead of trends and become industry pioneers like Grab and Uber, etc.? I think we need to spend a fair amount of thinking time, right? The strategy, getting together as a group. Generally what happens is in an organization, it is, the strategy group will think, the rest of them and will go and execute. And that's probably not going to help. We need to probably bring in a cross-functional team. Don't expect that all the ideas will come only from the senior people. The best of ideas can come from the junior most guy. So are we involving them into this discussion? So bring in some bright people and say, look, here is an assignment for you. What business model changes would you make? What product changes would you make? What process innovation would you want to make? What pricing changes would you want to make? And so guys, go sit, think, come back. We need to probably do 20 to 30% of our time on me time around thinking in terms of what we could do to drive the organization to the next level. And it is not just with the CEO or the CXO, it's with everybody within the organization. And that's going to be important. And that's how companies like Grab and Uber succeed. They empower the organization to go and drive innovation. So 4 O's for what are some common challenges an organization face when implementing new business model innovation in digital age, and how can they overcome these challenges? So I think it has to be a tone at the top. The CEO of the organization will have to come back and say that, look, we need ideas. We need ideas from everybody. It has to be cross-functional, whether you're in HR, whether you're in whether you're in process, it doesn't matter. Let's sit together and see, maybe once a week, let's have a discussion over a cup of coffee or a pizza or whatever it is, and see what best we can do to. So essentially, taking away from your routine work and spending, maybe 10 to 20% of your time in terms of, how do I drive the organization to the next level is going to be important. And somebody can also use that session to say that, look, this is what others are doing. Like what I did today, I gave you some 30, 40 examples, and we should probably throw those examples into the fray to say that, oh, that will trigger a little more thought process in terms of driving our what is right for the organization. Then you should probably go back and say that, look, okay, out of the 17 ideas that we have, these 2 ideas are workable, implementable. Can we go and implement it? And you should go and try it out. If it fails, you just cut it and move on. Not that every idea of yours will be successful. If I go and ask Amazon spends literally 100, 200 man days to find out as to where to put that cart. Should I put it on the left side or right side? Where will I get the most clicks? And to that extent, somebody is thinking in terms of where we want to place that cart. And if you go to retail industry says that, look, if I put this chip here, will I sell more? Will I put the chip at the back? Will I sell more? Somebody is thinking about it. So is your organization ready to think in terms of what differences can be made as the customer demands are very different? What differences are we making? Hope that helps. Okay, one more question. Looking ahead, what trends do you foresee shaping the landscape of business model innovation in the digital era? I think today, as long as we start embracing digital side of technology, I think we can do wonders. I give this example. Let me take this example and give it to you. I was with Plus. I was consulting for. I went and said that, look, here is an IoT device that I want to put on all your roads so that you don't, when there's a crack or a corrosion, it'll tell you. And this lady said to me that, look, Chari, can you give me a real problem, solve a real problem? Don't give me this, which is very good. She slapped me on my face, which is good. What she told me was this, that, look, I have a Penang bridge. It is 17, 18 kilometers long. And I don't want you to put an IoT device on top of it, but can you go below the water and put the IoT devices? So on each of those pillars, right, under the water, it collects a lot of dust. The dusts are called the barnacles. I didn't know. I had to go and check. And now what give me an IoT device, which tells me that the barnacles are getting accumulated, right? And then I can go and clean up. So today what they do is they send physically people to dive in and clean. And they don't even know whether they're cleaning or not, because you can't go and check. You can't go do an audit to see whether they're cleaning. But if there's an IoT device, it can tell you. And then give me a robot to go and clean up. Today, they have those available already. So there's an IoT device which tells me whether the dusts are getting accumulated under the pillar, under the water. And today there's a robot which is going and cleaning it up, which is fantastic. Now, what is the advantage? The life of the bridge goes up by 15 years if it is cleaned properly within a short span of time, right? And the robot cleans up, IoT tells me whether there is. To me, 15 years of additional revenue. More importantly, if I have to replace that bridge, it takes me, we need about 8 to 9 billion ringgit. 8 to 9 billion ringgit. The 8 to 9 billion ringgit investment pushes by 15 years. Whoa. So who is thinking about it within the organization? Oh, here is an opportunity for us to go and defer a capital investment of 9 billion over a 15-year period. Whoa. So this is exactly the trend that we see everywhere. And I can stand here and give you multiple examples, but some of them are powerful. Like, to me, this Penang Bridge story is amazing. Very recently, we sold about 400,000 pairs of shoes to US Army. There's a company called UMW in Netherlands, and they have an IoT device, and it's in the boots. Dunlop is producing those boots, and each one has got a lifespan of 15 years or something, and every army nation person wears it. And so you can sit here and control or find out as to what each one is doing in a way. So amazing that the technology is going to help us in terms of driving even more smarter business model innovations moving forward. And I'm very positive. And I keep saying this, I wish I'm 30 years younger, I can't be, but more, I mean, youngsters like you should probably start embracing technology quickly so that you can add value to the top line and the bottom line of the organization.
Mr. Chari, we still have some time left. Is that okay? Take 1 or 2 questions?
Sure, please, if there's time, why not?
Okay.
Okay. What advice do you have for someone who aspires to become entrepreneur or innovator in the digital age, and you may feel overwhelmed by the space of technology changes? No, I don't think you should be. You know, I am a mentor in with Endeavor. Endeavor is a global organization, and we look at lots of young people. These are smart, very smart young people with lots of energy. Yes, you need to find out as to what is happening around the world. You know, you need to scan the market to see what innovations are happening and how will you disrupt. But you can be a disruptor yourself, right? And you tomorrow, moving forward, nobody is going to carry cash, right? And then the world is gradually moving towards cashless society, right? And if you come to certain places like UK and all that stuff, nobody carries cash. My son walks around without any money in his wallet. All that he needs is a plastic card or his phone. The phone does all the work in a way. So, but don't get this is probably more opportunity than a deterrent for us because the technology will help you to go drive or fulfill the obligations or what the customers need today. There are lots of customer needs that you can fulfill using technology. And the more you think about it, many youngsters can quickly, like a 2-year-old today takes a television and goes and scrolls it, right? And so your exposure is extremely high, and you will be in a much better position to do it. But you need to have a positive attitude to say that, look, I'll use technology to fulfill customer demands.
Last question.
What role does CFO play in driving business model innovation in an organization, particularly in the context of digital transformation? I'm telling you, this is a super beautiful question. She, whoever, the CFO plays a significant role in driving a top line increase, cost reduction, fraud detection, database decision-making process. I think they can play a significant role. I'll give you AirAsia, for example. AirAsia has got a model where finance drives it. They know what is the profitability by route. From here to Singapore, I make so much of money for today. On a Friday, I make a little more money. On a Monday, I don't make. So essentially, understanding technology, understanding data, understanding the unit costing associated with it, we make a huge amount of differences to the organization. Right. Now, I'll give you one more example. So I also support QSR, which is Pizza Hut and KFC and all that stuff. If you go and ask the CFO, there's a lady by name Shan, and she knows profitability by every single retail outlet. She will know customer satisfaction by retail outlet. Now she understands this too. This is where the world is moving towards. And if you understand the unit costing for each one of them, wastages I think we play the finance fraternity, whether you're a CFO or a financial controller or business finance analyst, for example, you play a significant role in making sure that the organization does it right. Now, those days when I was young, the mandate from the board will be, okay, I want a 10% cut in cost. So you do a peanut butter cut, 10% cost cutting. That doesn't happen anymore. We need to find out where the fats are and you cut the fats. And sometimes you just say that, look, there's so much of fat here. I want to take this money and put it here because this is where we can add a little more value. I think finance can play and should play a significant role. as I've been saying, with so much of tools that are available, we will be in a position to contribute a lot more. Those days when I was young, I used to do manual addition of general ledgers. I used to do debits and credits. I used to do trial balance. I used to balance the balance sheet myself. It's all manual work. And today you don't have to worry about any of it, all done by the system. And all that you need to do is to say that, look, can I take these numbers, analyze it, and where are we spending this money? What is the root cause for spending this money? What technology can I bring it in to eliminate it completely, right? And one example that I give is this, that I had 1,500 people in the call center in Celcom, right? I used to bitch and moan all the time to say your expenses are high. They told me that, look, Chari, can you go and sit in the call center for 3 days? I sat in the call center for 3 days. Any English speaking calls came to me. I'm telling you that I did a worse job, really, really bad job. It was frustrating for me. When I came out, I said, let's find out as to how many calls are coming in. There was about 1.8 million calls every month, right? Out of that, 8 or 9 questions kept repeating the same thing again and again. So the 80-20 Pareto principle, we converted all of them into an application. And today everything is pushed into your handphone. It can answer anywhere between 100 to 120 questions. And who wants to call your call center? Today, we have less than 50 people in the call center. So on a sustainable basis, we have reduced cost and the customers are happy. This is exactly what we need to do. So business-minded CFOs will do a very good job overall. And I think our fraternity has come a long way. And you should all be happy that you're a part of finance organization. Nadira, over to you.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chari, for the wonderful sessions. And thank you, everyone, for sending in the questions.